Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live.
Woo!
I don't even know what just happened with that. I
Oh,
don't know if it glitched on your all's end, but it did on mine.
oops.
Yeah, with the weather and stuff, and the storms screwing everything up and stuff, our internet has been struggling tonight. So,
Fair. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night. How are you all doing?
we got a couple people that have shared out. Thank you very much. As you tell, it's the three of us out cause havoc and discuss divine protection. Thank you for all the shares. They are greatly appreciated.
Woo!
Because more shares means more people are hanging out with us.
Do we have any announcements?
Do we have any announcements? Yes, we do. So tomorrow night we have something special at 9 o'clock, and that is the airing of our first webisode on YouTube for Bridging the Gap. And it is an episode that was filmed at Bobby Mackey's. And the evidence is killer, so it was great. And on top of that, Saturday we also have the paranormal class at site in Maysville. There are flyers up with a QR code. It'll get you to a way to reach the link. The link is also floating around on the Facebook page as well, because I know it's a little bit harder to find in the store on the website. But usually if you go to the store on the website and type in Paranormal Class, it pops right up. That is in person. That is in Maysville. And we are actually really excited about that. It has already been talking, so it's going to be fun.
Oh?
Oh, yeah. It has indeed. It's going to be interesting, dude. Next Thursday is Tarot Night. So we are always excited for that as well.
I will be absent next Thursday. Unfortunately. Well, fortunately and unfortunately, I will be absent next Thursday, but everybody else is going to be on rocking it out.
You all stuck with me, so I'm the man behind the controls here.
Woo!
So, say hi, Tyree.
Hi.
What? What'd you say? As he just stares at me.
Hello, guys. And I am coming to you from our actual live location, the Missing Elements Shop, 1018 East New Circle Road, Lexington, Kentucky, Suite 114.
And what's happening at the shop soon?
Do what?
I said, and what's happening at the shop soon?
Oh, let's see. We've got a shamanic drumming circle this Saturday with Joanna Dickey. And then me and Joanna Dickey are doing a Tarot Oracle card reading event on June 8th from 12 to 3. Yeah, that's right, Renee, the Super Tarot team.
Super Tarot team.
Awesome sauce.
Wonder Twins unite.
So
We greatly appreciate all the shares. Thank you all so much. Do we have anything else to announce?
Not until next month. I know we were. There's going to be another. We're going to be doing the webisodes bi-weekly. That way we don't run out of stuff very quickly due to the way we scheduled it or the way it was scheduled. It takes time to edit. It takes time to get things done as far as that stuff goes. Plus, May has been a hell of a month for me personally on a personal level. From everywhere from trying to find a place to live to my father-in-law being in the hospital, my kid's grandpa, and everything like that. So we're going to go bi-weekly for a while until we get we're just going to keep it rolling like that. The next one, this one is a premiere. So we will be watching it with you and it'll have a live chat so we can interact and comment with you guys as we're watching it too. I didn't really have the time to put any kind of subtitles if there was any kind of EVP. So if you find EVPs, put them in the comments.
That's right.
Let's see what else we got going on. Next weekend, we got another investigation. It's going to be pretty awesome from my understanding.
Yes. That's in Huntington, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's going to be another one that is going to be converted into another webisode. I think that's the best way to say it, right? Webisode?
Webisode. That's what we're going with anyway.
Yeah. Me and Ray have worked really hard on it as far as trying to get the graphics done, try to get the cuts right, making sure that things are featured properly. Kind of give another thing too. This was one of the last times that Bobby Mackey's was investigated before it officially closed. I know there was a few others after that as far as public events, but
it was still open when we went.
Yup. You get to see the Tiffy doing the thing in that one.
Okay.
The great and wise Tiffy.
The great and wise Tiffy. That'll stuff us all in a jar if we vectored the wrong direction.
One of the featured ones for the next episode is going to be a gentleman that is on screen with us.
Yeah.
Tyree, you're in the next one.
the next one, Cynthiana.
Nope. Next one is Octagon.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
And we were just discussing that, Raymond.
We were. Shocker.
Who would have thought, right?
Who'd have thunk it?
Excuse me.
That is true.
All right, gentlemen. Should we go ahead and get into our topic for the night?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Tonight we are discussing divine protection. And who can tell us what divine protection pertains to?
It's protection from divine. No. It's the protection that divine provides. Sometimes it's very much so. It is very involuntary. You get that little nudge. Maybe you shouldn't go that way. Maybe you should take a turn here. Little nudges, little movements is more of the way divine protection works. And it's very, as my phone is going nuts. Sorry, let me turn that off. It's very passive. It's not nothing that is very out there, very, sometimes it can be being very trying to think of the right word. In your face. Sometimes it can be. It can be very much in your face. But most of the time, divine protection is little nudges, little pushes, little course corrections to get you to pay attention to something that is going on in a situation that could occur. What about you, Tyree? What do you think?
I agree with you on that one.
Okay.
Considering I've had a couple of them before I realized what they were.
Okay.
So,
What about you, Raymond?
Actually, it's a lot. It's very similar because whether we ask for it or not, the divine is always looking out for us. We were put here for a purpose. They are going to protect us while we are here to serve that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure you get to the finish line, dude. So, patience. Sometimes it's that pause on the sidewalk before you cross the road, and then a car zips through that will hit you in a second. Sometimes it's that hesitation that you pause just long enough to watch a tractor trailer fly through.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that moment, that split second where it's like, okay, maybe you need to wait. It's that warm embrace when you're terrified.
Mm-hmm.
It's I've got you.
Yep.
You're okay. I've got you.
But yeah, I mean, it goes back into the topic we talked about a few months ago when it came to it was longer than that because we've been talking about having a relationship with Divine for years now. So,
Yeah. But in this course and stuff, we started in February when we started talking about love.
mm-hmm. So there are times, and I can give a personal example of things happening that were unexplained that worked out for a benefit as far as a protection or something like that occurred. I have been for the last, just kind of give a little pull back the curtain a little bit. Me and Dustin and the kids have been trying to find a spot as far as like a place to live because our lease ended in the place that we're currently at. And that's part of the reason why I will not be here next Thursday is we're going to be in the process of moving. But hadn't heard anything. And it just kind of came to that point of, all right, I need an answer. Can you help me get with an answer? And that day I got both places that I was looking at. One was a little bit cheaper. And now that we looked, we visited it and looked at it and everything like that. It wasn't exactly what we wanted. It had some issues. And we looked at another one that was a lot larger of a house, more conducive for having all the kids having their own rooms and everything like that. And me and Dustin are sitting talking, and we're just kind of sharing back and forth how we feel about the place we looked at here in Nicholasville, because we're going to be moving to Lexington. And we both kind of shared our concerns about it. And I'm like, well, I mean, financially, it's great because it's cheap, but it's cheap. And we're in the car. We're talking about it. We're going through, how we feel about everything. We're going through, the plans going forward and everything like that. And we get to the house after picking him up from work. I think it was yesterday. and get a text message, you were approved for the house that you're wanting. When we were like pulling teeth trying to get an answer from somebody. But that little bit of divine nudge to get that thing going where, all right, now we got a place. Protection doesn't mean to keep something from you. It can be protection from the elements, being homeless. It can be protection from, well, I don't have a job. Can you help me, provide a job? I need to be able to eat. That's the kind of stuff that appealing to divine for really starts to help to nudge and change your world for the better, your personal world. You got any examples, Tyree?
Not anything like that.
Well, it
I
could
mean,
be
I'm-
anything.
I mean, I went hiking before by myself, and I was walking along a trail. Suddenly heard this major growl in front of me. I stopped and looked around, couldn't find nothing, so I backed up and left the trail I was on. And then a couple of days later, I found out the trail had washed away. Right about the time I was down there.
Ah, well, that's still in the vein.
Yep.
What about you, Raymond?
This one actually happened years ago. Obviously, but besides, making it through the surgeries that I did and almost dying from conditions that came from like heart surgery afterward. I was in New York City, and we were visiting. We were on a choir tour with the college I was at, and I was getting ready to the sidewalk. And this guy just reaches his arm out and says, "Hold on a second." Right about the time he stopped me and I stepped back, this taxi curved and took off.
Mm.
And that car would have hit me if I hadn't been stopped.
Yeah. I mean, we think a lot of times we're talking about, when we're doing personal protections, we're doing to keep things from interacting with our energy. We use stones for that, as far as coupling, different spell protections for that, accoutrements, things of that nature in order to help protect us from being interacted with in an unwanted way. Being interacted with in an unwanted way is being hit by a dang car.
Yeah. Or, laying in a hospital bed with, the top number of your blood pressure in the 40s, and they can't find the bottom one. They don't know how you're alive and talking.
Right?
It's like, yep, and I'm laying here cracking jokes.
Yep.
That's actually a true story.
When I was a kid, I think I've told this story a long time ago on one of the streams. I think it was a Wednesday night live when we were still doing it on Wednesdays before we moved it to Thursday. Or it may have been an Ask the Alchemist, because that was a long time ago. But I was a kid. I was probably in the ballpark of 7 or 8, somewhere in that ballpark. And I used to sleep by myself, and I was fine with it. And then after a bit, I just kind of, as kids do, they get scared of the dark. So in order to combat that, my mom gave me a little mag light. It was about like one of the little ones from like the it was like 89, 90, 91, somewhere in that ballpark. I just don't entirely remember. But I had this weird feeling, and I would sit up in the bed. My mom's laying next to me because I was really scared of the dark. And I'd turn on the flashlight and I'd look around the room. And I'd try to find what it was. Where's this coming from? What is this thing that is bothering me? She always said, if you can see it in the daytime, it's nothing that's going to bother you at night. So I'd flash the light, look around the room, nothing. And it felt like it got closer. And I'd flash the light again and nothing. And about the third time, I flashed the light again. Couldn't see anything. Still couldn't see anything, but I sensed something was close. And about that time, something unseen started attacking my mom in her sleep. She started shaking really violently and screaming at the top of her lungs. And I had just started going to church at the time with my uncle. And the only thing I knew to do was bury my face, because I was next to the wall, put my hand over my face and just start asking, stop this. Can you please stop this? God, I need you to stop this. And it stopped. We ended up moving the next day. We left that house and moved to Paris, actually, because we lived in Cynthiana at the time. And we moved out of that house that next day. I remember one of my mom's friends had picked us up and drove us to my uncle's.
And on that note, we do have a comment. Renee said the divine sure did for us. Kelly finally got a really great job, a dream job for him. The weight lifted in this house.
Hell yeah.
Get it,
That's
brother.
hell yeah, man. That's awesome. That's kind of similar to what happened to me back in January. I had put out hundreds and about 100 applications trying to find something, and then I found the one that was perfect as far as like the schedule that I wanted, the pay that I wanted, the type of work that I wanted. Protection just doesn't mean what, like we were talking about a minute ago. It can be stuff that is added to you to benefit you.
Is helping you meet your base needs.
Mm-hmm. Anybody got any questions or anything like that?
Questions, stories, comments?
I had a thought, then I lost it.
Had a thought and you lost it.
I had a thought and I lost it. I had a good one too, and it was like right there.
I tried to catch it back, it didn't come back.
I was calling for it, and it was like a bird. It just was gone.
It's like the brain cell when it leaves Elwood. Oh,
where am I? Another thing to kind of think about is when we're talking about divine protection, it can be things that we don't necessarily need in our life, but we're still asking for it. The answer to I'm asking for this thing, and the resounding answer of no. Who's like with that Garth Brooks song from way back in the day. Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers.
Yep. Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers.
Mm-hmm. Because an unanswered prayer is still an answer. It's no.
Right?
Hey, Melissa, how you doing?
An unanswered prayer is still an unanswered prayer. So,
Mm-hmm. We just don't have the energy tonight, y'all.
listen, dude, it is straight up downpour outside. I'm hearing it roar, and I'm like, is that the wind or is it just the rain? I'm looking every which direction. I can't tell where it's coming from. Is that you, God? Have you decided to wash me away? I'm trying to figure this out.
Well, I guess nobody's got any
It was
questions.
definitely one of those moments. But yeah, prayer's not always needed for divine protection.
Mm-mm.
If you feel the need, if you feel the call to ask for extra help, then it's something that you're supposed to ask for. But prayer is not needed for divine protection. Your flavor is always going to be there with you. They are always going to look out for you. If something happens that seems to be on a negative standpoint, then you have to ask yourself why. Because most likely it's some kind of a lesson, something to pay attention to.
I've heard not right nows. I've heard no's, and I've not heard an answer, but then stuff just starts lining up.
Yeah. It's that. Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost time. Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
So even when it doesn't seem like it's happening the way you want it to, and I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to everybody else. Exactly, patience.
That is a big one right there.
Understanding that, yeah, it's understanding that, they still got your back no matter what. It just might not be the right moment.
Who is that talking?
Well, it's not that far from the way
I don't know.
I'm going to mute my mic right quick.
I'll mute mine.
Huh.
So it's coming from every end.
Yeah, I bet I know where it's coming from. Hang on.
It's like, let me go investigate. Welcome to Divine.
I know exactly who that is now. I hear the voice.
Yeah. I know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's the thing with like a lot of this stuff that we're talking about has a lot to do with patience, and it has a lot to do with trust. Because a lot of times we ask for things, and
yes. Back to the
motive
whole thing.
Huh?
I said that loops right back into everything we've talked about for the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm. So when you do any kind of spell, prayer, offering. Well, you're doing offering because you're wanting to garner some sort of, divine favor of some kind, or just because. But for the most part, when you're doing those types of things, what you're supposed to do is let it go. Allow it to be what it is as it starts to manifest and formulate into existence. A lot of the times people have this tendency to, in order to micromanage every little piece of the detail, if they think they know best when it comes to how this thing works. And when you're trying to do that, you are very much restricting divine's interaction with you and your reality. If you start to meddle too much into your spell work, into your prayers, you can ask for a thing, but you got to leave it open enough to be able to be answered, other than, oh, it needs to be exactly like this. It needs to be exactly how this goes. It needs to be exactly the way this needs to work every single time. You're going to end up and get met with, okay, then you do it. Why do you need me if you know exactly how this is supposed to work? Why do you need me? What's the point? A lot of the time, especially when you're looking into hermetics, it's one of the principles of leaving it alone. If you look into hermetics, once you do the working, don't touch it. Planting seeds. We talked about planting seeds. This is the culmination. We talked a lot about planting seeds and reaping your harvest.
Yeah.
You cannot control how the plant grows. All you can do is nurture it.
Faith that.
Do what now? You cut out right as you said
I
something.
said, and have faith while you do,
Mhm.
while you nurture it.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, that storm, it's rough.
I understand, man. Renee said getting in the way of divine stalls progress, and it does. Every single time. It's like asking, like my kids, they'll ask me for a thing. Okay, cool. We'll get that when I am able to do that thing for you. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. I'm done. I'm not going to do it now. You asked me, and you got to trust that I'll do it. Or this isn't going to happen. What do you think, Tyree?
Well, I was just sitting here thinking that this can go two ways. Because, yes, they can softly tell you or awfully protect you in one way or the other. And then sometimes they can get really harsh. Because let's talk about this, and I've talked about this quite a bit. Before we actually opened up the shop, I actually went to Steven one night and I was like, hey, let's see if we can find you a place so the mechanics can call home and it actually be a home. And that planted the seed.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't at the time capable of nurturing that seed. And then I was concentrating more on my job at the time. And then that's when I got pushed off that ladder. And then that set the wheels in motions of, hey, this is what I need to do.
I'm reminded of a scripture actually. One soweth, one watereth, God gives the increase.
Let's see, Renee says, I love the story of Lot's wife. Look forward, trust, patience, don't look back. She
Mhm.
did and became a pillar of salt because of it.
Mm-hmm. The what ifs kill any kind of momentum. I am a person who has not. I don't have it like Steve does, but I have anxiety. I don't have the acute anxiety that Steve Smith does. But I do have anxiety when it comes to certain things, and I have the tendency to, all right, I need to figure this out. If I don't figure this out, the hyper independence starts to really kick in. And when I don't have an answer, that is when I go into what I refer to as shutdown or numb. I ain't got it. I don't know what you're talking. I do not have anything for anything when it comes to this particular circumstance. Once you get on the other side of that and you process, that was when I went, you've either you have it or it's not going to have. I don't have the ability to make this work. So I trust that you're going to be able to do it. The order's off. I should have trusted first. But it is what it is. You live and learn through those particular lessons.
Yeah, and some of us just had to work backward.
I have a habit of it. That's one of the things that Steve got frustrated with me when I was first starting to learn from him.
Reverse engineering.
Yup. Start me with the final product and I'll work my way back on how it works. Okay, this is what I'm working on. Cool. It's like a stereo from way back in the day. Y'all remember the boom boxes? I don't really have them as much anymore with the tape deck and all that stuff. I've taken so many of those apart, trying to figure out how they work.
Computers.
VCRs. I've done that with VCRs too.
Remote control cars, remotes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
DVD
That's
players.
one thing. I was never inclined to take stuff apart.
It's the ADHD, man. It's what it is on my end. Well, how does that work? Well, the only way that I'm going to learn.
Put it back together.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it works. It still works, even though I put it back together. Why do I have this piece that's missing? It's all right.
And then it stops working 5 weeks later. Crap. Why did I put that piece? Oh, well.
I threw it away a long time ago. Oops.
Yeah. That's kind of why I was like, you and Steve were showing me something at a market one time. And he was like, all right. You guys were like, all right, tell me what happened. And I was working with it for a while. And Steve was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm reverse engineering it. I'm taking the whole and I'm breaking it down to figure out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, okay, you're one of those. I got you. So it takes me a while because I'm literally dissecting each part of it to break it down in my head and in my hands. What's up, Pep? As Pep hops in. Howdy, Peps. Say how they
Miss you, girl.
Hey, Dory, If God tell you that someone can't come later, why can't they ask you to marry him? Can you be a little bit more clear with that? Because I have no idea what that means. From from the YouTube chat.
Yeah. Yeah, if you could give us a little bit more context, that would be appreciated.
Yep.
Wendy's drive-through, some of their food sounds awesome right now. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll take a single.
Can I get a triple?
I want Baconator.
I'll be long asleep by the time you get back. Hey Kyle, how you doing? But yeah, anybody got any questions or anything so far? We're that's
I know
about as
Dory's still
far on
working
divine
on
protection as we can
what
go.
she's telling us. Pretty much.
Awesome, Kyle. That's great to hear. Reading your comment, Dory. That may be a question to ask them yourself, as far as asking Divine for an answer to that. 'Cause I don't. Wants me to marry him. Relationships aren't exactly my forte when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, mine either. Not gonna lie to you about it.
No. Give me a second.
Pat, Terry said she would take a frosty. Yep. All right. Oh, you got a book.
Depending on which flavor of God you're talking about, depends on if they change their mind or not. Most of the time, not so much. But I am going to look into it because I think I need a little bit more clarity in this particular situation. Just to be fair, since I don't get to read next week, I'll read one tonight. Yeah, you could. Renee, you can have more than one working.
Oh yeah.
To me, Divine is a multifaceted jewel. It's all similar presence. If God is infinite, God can be anything. At least that is my interpretation. Whatever your
Different names,
interpretation
still
is,
the same in the same singular, singularity, I should say. That's a good word.
the great singularity.
Yep.
Okay. Sometimes we get answers to questions that aren't from and aren't from the divine, because that's what we want to hear. And then it's interpreted as, oh, they changed their mind. So I use a deck of cards called the Druid Animal Oracles, and they are very, very blunt. So the first card, y'all watched me shuffle them. I didn't do anything to it. But the first card I drew is the Otter in reverse. And this card suggests that you may be pushing the river, going against the natural course of events, perhaps out of fear or stubbornness, trying to let go, relaxing, and try letting go, relaxing, and trusting in life. Although the Otter urges us to be playful, we must be aware that becoming the playboy or girl who uses play as an escape from demands and responsibilities of adulthood. And then the second card is the Stag. The Stag brings us the qualities of grace and majesty and integrity. Contemplating the Stag can help you achieve a greater sense of poise and dignity. If you are ever converted in a situation in which you feel vulnerable or under scrutiny, such as courts or public appearance, by tuning the Stag and ask for protection of his spirit, you will find yourself being calmer, stronger, and more dignified. It also signifies independence, both physical and spiritual. And then the last card is the Boar.
It's a great poor pig.
Mm-hmm. If I can freaking find it. There we go. The Boar can help you open yourself up to your warrior spirit, help you find your direction in life. A wild and powerful animal, he calls you into the forest to discover a secret within yourself and about the world. So the cards are kind of talking to me that there is that slight piece in you that wants that to be a thing. The Boar, like a pig. I think Raymond clarified for me again.
Yeah.
I think
Boar.
Yep. I think a little bit of you wanted it to change. A lot of times we go into those things expecting a different result, but we already know what the answer to the question is. Oh, they've changed. They've become this. They've done that. They're this, or oh, they've done so much. Have they really? Or is that just the answer that you want to hear? I'm sorry to be blunt. Well, not really.
Yeah.
But with that one, we're going to go ahead and end it here. We thank you all for showing up, being involved, asking questions very much. We hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, come over to the Facebook on Spirit Mechanics. Ask the question. There's a whole host of people that can answer that question for you. If you have an issue, give us a holler. We can do our best. Raymond, do you want to do it this time?
Sure, why not? Y'all have a great rest of your night. Be safe. Be good to each other. And remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Because those who change themselves change the world around themselves. You all have a good night.
Love y'all.
Love you.